Thanks, Rory.
All right, thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Thank you. 22/9, she's the comedy queen of the small screen, currently starring alongside Matt LeBlanc in the hugely successful TV series Episodes.
Tamsin Greig has carved a career out of making people laugh. Now, though, she's made her musical debut in the West End, and no one finds it funnier than Tamsin herself.
Apparently. We'll be talking to her in a moment. First, though, let's have a look at Tamsin in Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
You feel it on your tongue, you feel it in your lips. Feel it from your fingers to the thing between your hips. Claps on the floor, you shudder, you tingle. The paramedic comes, you wonder if he's single. You are sick, 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 you're falling to pieces. And the curse is the cure, it's worse than the diseases. You're dead, you're toast, you're overdosed.
Morning, Tamsin. That is you and your actual voice.
That is my actual, for real life voice.
A singing voice you weren't sure that you had?
I didn't have.
Really?
Where did you find it?
eBay.
Was it expensive?
It's cost me my life, my family life certainly. It's been a long process of wooing me to actually do it, and then all of the incredible artists that were put around me to help me find the voice technically.
So when they first came to you and said, Tamsin, we really want you to be in a musical, you just said no.
I didn't say anything, I just laughed.
Okay.
I said, wow, that's a lovely idea, it's incredibly flattering, but you do know that I'm not a singer. I do something else. And they said, yeah, well, we'll work with that. And they have.
And how much work did it take?
So we did the workshop of the piece 15, 16 months ago. And just before that and since then, I've been having singing lessons and musical directors and voice therapists and laryngeal osteopaths.
That's what I'm intrigued about. Laryngeal osteopathy.
Laryngeal osteopathy.
What do they do to your larynx?
Well, this area of the body.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Let's cut you back in vision. That area.
This area of the body is very small. The larynx is a tiny little muscle, but everything that supports it are very powerful muscles, and so it's about manipulating those to release
So strangling
them.
you in a nice way.
Well, I cry quite a lot.
Oh my gosh.
When I go to sessions, but it releases a lot of the tension that we naturally hold in our neck because we're holding this very heavy piece of machinery on top of it, and this bit is very small. So, and my singing teacher says you have to make every effort to do nothing, which doesn't make sense. So your whole time is doing nothing, but you're doing way too much. So it's very contradictory. So after how many years in the business, I'm now learning how to properly use my voice.
So have you enjoyed it? Are you enjoying the singing?
It's absolutely thrilling. I'm surrounded by these extraordinary performers who all have an amazing array of experience in musical theatre. And I'm hoping that as I stand close to them, I'll just by osmosis will suck the talent out of them because they're all so accomplished. But this whole thing about, people are really excited about choirs at the moment, aren't they? Because being surrounded by people who know how to sing and you're in the pool with them, it's absolutely thrilling to hear this noise going on around you.
It's clearly worked because it was well received by the critics, and that you were supposed to be only on till April, but you've now extended the run.
They are announcing today that it's being extended until August 22nd, and then we'll see beyond that. So.
And for those who don't know it, it's based on the Pedro Almodovar film, isn't it?
Of the 1980s, yes.
Right.
This was his film that sort of put him on the international scene as a film director. But it's very much its own self, this musical production. It's the music is David Yazbek and the book is Geoffrey Lane. They were the team that brought London Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So they have an extraordinary history in their, in creating musicals out of wonderful film material, but this is a kind of development of Pedro's original vision. It is as wild and unexpected.
You must be chuffed though, because it went to Broadway a few years ago and sort of didn't last a huge length of time. Now it's come to London and it's clearly working. and successful.
It's taking a very different format here. You know, it was a very bold spectacle on Broadway, and here it's much more intimate. It's in a smaller theatre. It's much more about people trying to understand one another. And there's a live band on stage, a small band, so we've got a 5-piece band on stage who you see. So you get the sense of the presence of the music kind of underpinning and running through everything. It's really, one of my children came and he said, yeah, Mum, it is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's a massive
I know,
compliment,
from a
isn't it?
teenage boy, it is a lot of fun. And you go out feeling happy. Which is great for you know, when especially the title is about women on the verge of menstruation, so you kind of think you can't go out feeling happy, but it's incredibly joyful and
Talk
madcap.
about joyful things, and we've both been lucky enough to see the second best Marigold Hotel, of which you're in. And what was that like joining the cast? Because they all, I mean, presumably you know them anyway, but they were a pretty tight-knit cast, weren't they?
Yes, I mean they're the acting dynasty really of British theatre actors and film actors. It was quite daunting for me because I think they're all magnificent, and but they were incredibly welcoming, and it was the most wonderful experience.
Is it as lovely to work on a film like that everybody thinks is lovely? I mean, you know, it's universally well received because they like the first one, and when you go, if you've seen the first one, you see the second one, it's like going back and seeing a bunch of old friends, really. and being on set like that, did you have that same feeling? Was it relaxed?
Yes, it's about who the people are. They're incredibly welcoming and very generous, and delighted to meet, you know, to bring new blood in. It's really about them just being really open to new people. And, you know, they're human beings. They have fun, they get tired. You know, it's a very stressful, long day being on, as you know, filming from early in the morning to late at night. And yet they do it with incredible class and grace.
And it makes you feel happy watching that film as well. Thank you.
And just bring episodes. Is it going to be a third series?
There's going to be a fourth
series. Oh, it's already been 3.
It's already it's airing in America at the moment.
Is it?
And it starts here at the beginning of May.
Excellent. Look forward to that. All right. Tamsin,
Thank you. Thanks for coming to see us again as well. Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown is at the Playhouse Theatre in London now until August.
Carol has a last look at the weather. Nervous breakdown is the last thing she does. Really? Normally?
Morning.
Good morning. I hope not, Billy. This morning, it's been a cold start to the day across central and eastern areas, but this is where we have the brightest skies. Wet and windy weather already in the west is going to cross the whole of the UK as we go through the course